Guten Yardening, everybody. We're going to give us a couple seconds here for people to start trickling in. But welcome to an evening of garden trivia. We're really excited. This is our first time doing this type of activity. It's an opportunity for us to spend some time with the community, maybe learn a few things together. I had a lot of fun sorting out this trivia as I was working through it over the past week, and came up with some things that really surprised me as well. Hello, Anne. It's great to see you here. Looks like we have quite a few people already joining us, but I want to get you, well, you can see it on the screen. I wanted to show you the way that you can register this evening for our drawings. I guess you could call them our drawings. We're using our wheel of names as we did for our last giveaway. But I'm going to share this with you on the screen right now. So you can see I have linked at the top of the chat. It's the very first link or the very first comment here at the top of our thread. I've pinned it. It's a link to this form, and the form simply asks you two questions. It asks you your name, and you can put whatever name you'd like for us to mention you if you win, and then an email address for us to contact you. And we will contact you if you're one of the winners. And tonight we have quite a few prizes. Well, you'll see what that's all about here in a little bit, but I'd like to welcome everybody in this evening, especially as I see Hickory Croft Farm is here. Welcome, Hickory Croft. Again, welcome, Anne. Hello, Twilight Gardner and Rhonda and Doris. We've got so many people in here already. We're excited to get started. So I'm going to post this link one more time. So even though it's pinned at the top, as we start moving through here, I want to have that right there in front of you. This is the link that you'd use, and all you have to do, put your name and your email address. That way we can contact you if you win. And I'll give you a little, I guess I'll give you a little foreshadowing that we're going to have 7 prizes tonight. So 7 people can win, and we're not going to limit you to one win. So it's possible you could win multiple times tonight. We're excited to get to it. We're excited to get to it all and to see everyone here this evening. Hey, Kiki Gardens, it is great to have you on the live stream. Welcome. Great to see you here. It's been a busy week for us, and I'm sure, I don't know where everyone is. You can drop your location, your growing zone there in the chat as we get started here, but it's been the first week that's reminded us that spring is only a couple of weeks away, it seems. We're actually getting a little bit warmer weather finally. So, been outside just a little bit. The snow is melting. Our multiple inches of snow are melting. So it's been fantastic. We have for you tonight 25 questions. We have 25 trivia questions. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through those questions, and we're going to give you an opportunity to answer them over in the chat. And you can answer them as soon as you think you know the answer. This is not one of those trivia contests where you have to get the most right to win. The winners will be completely at random based on the form that you are submitting. Okay, so that's where the winning comes from. The trivia part is about learning and seeing how much you already know or how lucky you are at guessing. I guess that's another way to put it. And some of these questions are going to be pretty straightforward and maybe pretty simple for you. And some of them, well, they're a little bit challenging. So I'm excited to get going there. Hello, White Davy Farm. Great to see you as well. Casper VK, great to see you. Yes, please, if you haven't already pushed the thumbs up, go ahead and push that thumbs up. You know, when I'm teaching during my day job, I often have to put something in the chat multiple times. And I say to the students, here it is again. Here's the link in the chat. So if you haven't already signed up, go ahead and fill out that form. It automatically fills you into this wheel of names. So once we have you filled out in the form, we will be in great shape. And I already see there are 11 people who have filled out the form. So we have 11 people here in the running for the prizes already. I want to remind you all of a couple of things as we get started here, as we head into the trivia questions. We are still running our community initiative, looking for people who are perhaps inspired by some of the videos that we've produced on our channel, who are growing something new, trying something new, who want to record just a little bit of what they've done, and they want to send some of that our way, and we would feature you on our channel. And again, anything that we do on that with that initiative, any money that we make on that from those videos, we donate back, just like we're doing tonight. We donate back to the community in terms of giveaways or whatever we can do to provide back into the community. Garden State Gardener, great to see you. No worries. Thank you so much for stopping in. Seed Addicts, great to see you. Hey, John Marquis, how are you? It's fantastic to see you here. We got lots of wonderful people on here, and we're hoping that tonight, some of what we're working through tonight is going to also inspire you. It's never a bad thing to gain more knowledge. So I'm going to get started with the trivia questions here. So here's how it's going to work. Before I pull up the first trivia question, there's still plenty of time, and you can enter into this wheel the entire evening as we're going through. So don't worry. Again, the link to the form is at the top of the chat, and I'll post it again. Here we go. Look at that. Simple as that. I'll post it again. If you haven't already registered, we've got 14 people in there. 7 chances to win tonight. Some of the prizes are a little smaller. Some of them are, well, you'll see. I think you'll enjoy what we have in store for you tonight. So as we head into this, here are the directions for the trivia. So for each question, I will read the question to you. I'll also read the possible answers. It's multiple choice, A, B, C, D kind of answers. And in the chat, you lay down what you think the correct answer is. And I'm going to give us about 30 seconds per question. So you'll see the question, you'll hear it, you lay down what you think the correct answer is. And once we have that correct answer, well, once we've had that 30 seconds, I'll tell you what the correct answer is, and then maybe provide you a little bit of background for the questions that need it. And then again, at random spots throughout, we'll be offering prizes. We'll do it so you don't really know. Yeah, exactly. The kids are ready with pens and paper. That's fantastic. You know what? That'd be impressive. If you recorded your score the whole way through, I would be truly, truly impressed. I'm not even sure. Well, let's be honest. Some of these I had to look up. So I definitely wouldn't be the 25 out of 25 on this one. All right, let me pull up our screen. And I'm going to pop the first one up on the screen here in just a second. Go ahead in the chat as soon as you know the answer. And don't worry if somebody else puts an answer in first. It doesn't matter. Just keep them coming in. Make sure you guess for every single one. That would be fantastic, okay? So guess for every single one. And as we go through there, just keep track on your own. And once we get to a spot where we're going to do a drawing, we'll do a drawing. All right, here we go. The first question here. Oh, let me hide this. Let me hide this 1 second so you can actually see it. The first question is an easier one, hopefully, to start out. When it comes to pH, your soil can be acidic, alkaline, or what? A, basic, B, neutral, C, sour, or D, bitter? Whatever you think the answer is, go ahead and put that in the chat. Whatever you think the answer is, go ahead and get that into the chat. When it comes to pH, the soil can be acidic, alkaline, or what? What is the answer? So we've got some B's, some D's, some C's. We got 15 more seconds for this one. All right, we're rolling through. 10 seconds. I'm noticing a trend here. For the most part, we got 5 seconds. The answer is definitely B. That is correct. So the pH in the soil can definitely be neutral, which would be right there at 7. And I was looking at this today as I was, you know what? The 30 of you who are currently in our live stream, first of all, thank you for being here. You get a sneak peek. We're going to release a video a little bit later this evening. Once the live stream is done, we're looking at our fig, an update on our fig tree. And we have to look at pH. It's a pretty important thing for a lot of our fruit trees, the pH being slightly acidic. So excellent. For those of you that knew that it was B, well done. Let's keep going with our second question. Oh, and hello to those of you who haven't said hello to. Welcome to the chat. Here we go. Our second question. Which grain is used to make semolina? A, wheat, B, flax, C, millet, D, barley. What do you think? Which grain is used to make semolina? Go ahead and leave that in the chat. Whatever you think the answer is, A, B, C, or D. This one's a little bit harder in the sense that we don't necessarily grow a lot of greens in our garden. Okay, we've got a couple answers here. We got A, B, C. We're covering the gamut here. Excellent. I will tell you this, for those of you, I won't tell you. I'll wait. We have 10 seconds left. 8 seconds. 3 seconds. We're getting lots of good answers in here. The majority of you once again picked the correct answer, which is A. It is wheat. So, I mean, you can get whole wheat flour as well, but you use semolina. It's actually made from wheat, and it's got 42% of the value of daily protein in it. So it's actually much better for you if you want to use it rather than, say, a white flour, which has about 11% of the daily protein in it. But it's also really high amount of gluten in it. So that's not for everybody. I know. James got it right. Well done, James. No worries, Julie. You got this. We just keep going and keep guessing. That's what we got to do. All right. The next question. We're already through two. The next question is one that I'm particularly interested in, and I've actually done quite a bit of YouTube video watching on this one. So you tell me what you think. The spice saffron comes from which flower? The spice saffron comes from which flower? A, the amaryllis, B, the crocus, C, the red orchid, or D, the hibiscus. Which one of these provides us with saffron? Oh, Bluebird is in with the B. It seems as though there's a early on consensus anyway of B. 15 seconds. Saffron, the first time I ever bought saffron, and we have about 10 seconds. The first time I ever bought saffron, it was a tiny little container that cost $11, 11 US dollars for those of you counting. And I thought it was a mistake. I thought that they were making things up, that I wasn't really going to have to pay that much money. I was wrong. And the reason I was wrong is because the crocus, the saffron crocus, which is where we get this spice from, produces about three stigmas, which are the little red things that are dehydrated, that's the saffron, per flower. And it takes about 70,000 crocuses to create enough saffron for a pound of saffron. That is crazy. So the correct answer is B. It is the crocus. For those of you that knew that, well done. That's fantastic. And if there is a plant that I would be interested in learning more about, or that I was when I first heard about this, it was the crocus, and I watched video after video on that. It's so interesting. Okay, number four. The love apple is the original name for what? Is it A, oranges, B, pears, C, tomatoes, or D, radishes? The love apple is the original name for what? Oranges, pears, tomatoes, or radishes? Let's see what we got here. This one I did not know early on. I have other facts about it, but I did not know this about it. I see some answers coming in, some B's and C's. I'm going to go ahead and post the link to the entry into the drawing because we're getting close for the first wheel of names coming up as well. So if you didn't already register for the wheel of names, get in there. Get in there before we move on. too much further because we're really close to that first drawing. All right, we have 5 seconds left. I see lots of B, lots of C's. Okay. The correct answer is, well, the French call it the pomme d'amour. And if I said that incorrectly, it's because I never learned to speak French. But it is the literal translation of love apple for tomatoes. It is letter C. Now, I didn't know that it was called the love apple, but what I did know is that for a long period of time, especially in Europe, people thought that tomatoes were poisonous, that they would actually, that they could actually kill you if you ate them. And the reasoning behind this, I assumed this whole time, I assumed that it was probably because the tomatoes are part of the nightshade family, but it's not. Apparently, the wealthier people, the aristocrats, if you will, were eating a lot of their food off of pewter servingware. And so if they ate it off of pewter, which has a high content of lead, and you put tomatoes down on it, you get that acidic interaction with the tomatoes and the pewter, which would cause the lead to sort of, I guess you could say, leach up into the tomatoes. They would eat the tomatoes, and people then said, oh, well, they're getting sick. It must be the tomatoes. Well, thankfully, they stopped considering the tomatoes to be poisonous, because I don't know what I'd do without my garden candy. But the love apple piece, you are absolutely right. And it is supposed to be an aphrodisiac. And I have no idea. I just know I love my apples. My love apples, my my tomatoes. Okay, we are at question number 5. And again, I'm going to post this one more time here in the chat because I've seen people come in and come out because we're getting really close to that first drawing. And once we get started, we only have 25 questions and we have 7 prizes. So once we get started, you better be ready. Number 5, which plant was exchanged as currency in the 17th century? Which plant was exchanged as currency in the 17th century? A, amaranth. B, tulips. C, roses. Or D, lilies? Which one of these? So the 17th century, which would be the 1600s. I remember as a 10 or 11-year-old, I had a hard time understanding how the 17th century wasn't the 1700s, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm the only one that's confused out there. But in the 17th century, one of these, is it A, amaranth, B, tulips, C, roses, or D, lilies? We have lots of people talking about, I see roses and I see tulips as the 2 most popular, but we have had some people talk about amaranth. Very nice. We've grown some amaranth microgreens this year. Very delicious. James is pretty confident on this one. All right. The time has run out. The correct answer is B, tulips. So apparently in Dutch towns, they had this tulip mania to the point where at one time, and I was reading about this yesterday, one of the tulips actually sold for the value of an entire house. I mean, they were incredibly popular, apparently incredibly popular for a good period of time. I can imagine seeing the fields of tulips these days, how much money that would be. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, this is the number 6 is the last question before our first giveaway. So this is the last time before the first giveaway. I'm going to put this link into the chat. This is the form into the chat one more time. Or anybody who hasn't signed up, you have this next question, and then we move into our first giveaway. Here we go. On which continent did broccoli originate? On which continent did broccoli originate? What do you think? A, Africa. B, North America. C, Asia. Or D, Europe? on which continent did broccoli originate? I like the fact that we're getting all these guesses in here. There's a nice range, a nice variety of thought here. A little hint for broccoli might be the way the name sounds. I actually don't know if that's a hint or not for you, but for me, as I was researching this one, it definitely helped me a little bit to think about it. On which continent did broccoli originate? I see some answers coming in. I see Asia, I see Europe are the two most common answers. Fantastic. Asia and Europe are the two most. We have 10 more seconds to get your answers in. 10 more seconds for this question. Hickory Croft is in. Bluebird is in. Okay. In this case, it looks like the most common answer was D, Europe, and the correct answer is D, Europe. Well done, all of you. So here we go. We've got D is in Europe. It's actually Italy is one of the places where they first worked with sprouting broccoli. There you go. Who knew? Apparently, it's time for the first giveaway. Now, the first giveaway and the first couple of giveaways are going to be these $5 Amazon gift cards. Now, I said this already. I believe I said this already, but you're not going to be limited this evening in the number of times you can win. So just get yourself registered in, and then we'll spin the wheel. We won't remove your name. So a couple of these are, like I mentioned earlier, a couple of these are smaller, like the Amazon gift cards, and then we have a couple of bigger prizes. 7 in total. I'm going to go ahead and look over, and we have 25 people who have registered already. I'm going to pop the screen away real quick. I'm going to pop the screen away so I can get over to my wheel of names, and I will bring the screen back. And this is what we're drawing from tonight. This is our wheel of names that we have going. So if you don't see your name on the list, that's probably something that you should get registered for future drawings. So here we go. I'm going to spin the first one. And our first winner tonight for a $5 Amazon gift card is John Marquis. Congratulations, John Marquis. You'll notice I'm not clicking remove. I keep track of all the people who have won, but that's our first one down. So well done. We are going to head back to the trivia now. So here we go, back to trivia. Number 7, roughly how many varieties of avocado are there? A, 5, B, 50, C, 500, or D, 5,000. How many varieties of avocado are there roughly in the world? What do you think? You have 20 seconds. We've already got our first couple answers in here. We've got the Indiana Backyard Gardener says C500. Lots of B's and C's so far. Excellent. 15 more seconds to get your answers in. Well done, B's and C's. I don't know how many I've tried because I've never really tried avocado, like the vast number, I'm sure. But I will tell you, the very first time I ever ate avocado, I was in the Cayman Islands, and they called it pear, and I had never heard that word before referred to that way. And so I expected a very different taste than I got, and I did not like avocado then. And then all of a sudden I realized what it was all about, and I loved it. And the correct answer is, for all of you who are guessing, the correct answer is C. There are 500 varieties of avocados out there, and that just means that I need to try more avocados than I have already. There's no doubt about that. So congratulations to all of you who guessed C. Question number 8. What vitamin is most prevalent, the one that we have the most of, in a lime? What vitamin is the most prevalent in a lime? A, vitamin A, B, vitamin B, C, vitamin C, or D, vitamin D? What do you got? What do you think the most prevalent vitamin is in a lime. Interestingly enough, we're not growing a lime, but we are growing a Meyer lemon here, which in Zone 5, Wisconsin is not necessarily to be expected, but it's growing pretty well. We got 10 seconds. We got A and C. Those are the two most common ones so far that I'm seeing, A and C. All right. 5 seconds, and the answer, for those of you who haven't guessed yet, the answer is C, vitamin C. Yeah, it's very healthy. We use lemon more than we use lime, although I really like the taste of lime an awful lot. All right, 2 more questions before our next drawing. So here we go. You know what? Some of these questions are throwbacks to other videos that we have done on this channel. So if you've been watching videos on our channel, then you have a bit of an advantage if you can remember this. The oldest mature seed grown into a viable plant, a mature seed, was A, 20 years old, B, 100 years old, C, 1,000 years old, or D, 2,000 years old. What do you think? The oldest mature seed grown into a viable plant? 20 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, or 2,000 years? What do you got for me? There was a seed that I read about that had a different number than this, but it wasn't a mature seed. So that's what we're going for now. I can tell you that the plant was called a date palm, and that's what you have in the background here. I'm seeing some guesses of C's and D's. All right, the oldest one was letter D, 2,000 years old. You're absolutely right, Indiana Backyard Gardener. It was a date palm, and it was 2,000 years old. So when you go to throw away your seeds from last season, don't do it. Now, they're not going to last 2,000 years, but still, they will last longer. All right, our last question before our next drawing, and I'm going to post the link one more time to the forum in case you didn't get in. The last question before our next drawing is this. What is another more common name for an alligator pear? Another more common name for an alligator pear. Is it the A, avocado, B, bosque, C, kiwi, or D, jackfruit? What do you think is another more common name for an alligator pear? Oh, I'm excited for this one. I don't know why, but this one just made me happy. All right, we've got A and D, and we've got an alligator in the background. They're there to inspire you. 10 seconds, 8 seconds. What do you got for me? We've got quite a few people mentioning avocado and quite a few people mentioning jackfruit. Now, I will tell you, our time is up. I put jackfruit in there because it has similar skin in the texture, but the answer is A, avocado. So we got avocado as the alligator pear. Well, I think it's time for another drawing. So giveaway number 2 is another $5 gift card. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hide that part of the screen while I get everything set up on the wheel. I'll pull the wheel up, and we're up to 25 entries. It's time to spin a second time. Here we go. Yeah, I know. Indiana Backyard Gardener, you're right. I did just say they called it a pear. Our second winner is Julie Kraft. Congratulations, Julie Kraft. Well done. $5 gift card. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, we are back to trivia. Congratulations, Julie Kraft. We've got 2 winners so far. Here we go. This one may seem a little bit unfair because it's focused here in the United States, but you know what? I think we'll all be okay because it's multiple choice, and I doubt many people know this. What type of juice is the state beverage of Ohio, USA? Is it A, cranberry juice, B, tomato juice, C, orange juice, or D, carrot juice? What type of juice is the state beverage of Ohio? What do you think? Cranberry juice, tomato juice, orange juice, or carrot juice? True story, I like 3 out of 4 of those juices. There's only one of those that I don't love. And I'll still drink all of them because they're very healthy for you. So we've got a lot of people mentioning B, tomato juice. We got a lot of people mentioning D, carrot juice. Some really good guesses here. Absolutely. Nobody has said cranberry juice. They must know that that's my least favorite of these four. So that's probably why they're not picking it. All right, the time is up. The correct answer is B, tomato juice. You know what? I drank tomato juice as a kid, but the thing that I did with it, and you can put it in the chat if you did anything strange or if you've done anything strange with tomato juice, maybe this isn't too strange to you, but after I made macaroni and cheese, I would pour some tomato juice on it and stir it in, and it just elevated the flavor of mac and cheese. So getting clean on the prairies is drinking cranberry juice right now. It's just not my favorite for whatever reason. It's just not my favorite. All right, 12. Question number 12. The vanilla bean pod comes from which plant? The vanilla bean pod comes from which plant? Is it A, the vanilla clematis, B, the vanilla wisteria, C, the vanilla orchid, or D, the vanilla clivia? Which one of these four plants does the vanilla bean pod come from? The vanilla clematis, A, B, the vanilla wisteria, C, the vanilla orchid, or D, the vanilla clivia. And if you know the answer to this one, I learned this one. This is one of the ones I learned as I researched this. And then I looked up lots of pictures because I didn't believe it. Sometimes you don't believe what you learn. Who knew? But that's what the internet's good for. That's what the YouTube is good for. Excellent. All right. So I see some B's. I see some C's happening here. I see some adamant C's here right now. Very nice. You got 5 more seconds for this one. All right. The vanilla bean pod comes from the vanilla orchid. The vanilla, it's C, the vanilla orchid. I had no idea. Yes, it does. Indiana Backyard Gardener, it does come from Mexico. That was part of what I learned in my research. I think that's fascinating. I love the flavor of vanilla all around, and it's super expensive too. So, okay, well, if 12 puts us at basically halfway, that means it's time for another giveaway. And our third giveaway is for a soil pH meter and moisture sensor. So the giveaway here, it's the same thing. I'm going to put the link in the chat one more time in case you didn't get into the form. You get into that form really quickly. This one's a little bit bigger. So this one's a pH meter and soil sensor or moisture sensor. If you've never used one of these before, they are so handy to have, especially from my perspective. That moisture sensor is awesome. So I'm going to make this go away. I'm going to bring up the wheel of names. I'm going to go ahead and present. Our wheel of names is right here. And so for the third giveaway, we have the winner as Steph and Chris. Well done. Congratulations. Well done. Excellent job, Steph and Chris. So that's an exciting, I hope that's an exciting win for you. Those things are really nice. And if you've never had that before, if you've never had or never used one of those before, I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. Okay, here we go. Question number 13. Potatoes were first cultivated around 7,000 years ago in which country? India, A, B, Argentina, C, Japan, or D, Peru. Potatoes were first cultivated around 7,000 years ago in A, India, B, Argentina, C, Japan, or D, Peru. Let us know what you think. Where were they first cultivated? This one I had read about a few years ago, The one thing I'll say about this is that a lot of people speculate that it might be closer to 10,000 years. Seven is somewhere between 7 and 10,000 years. But these were grown, our time's almost up, 5 more seconds. These were grown all the way up into the Andes in D, Peru. So for those of you that knew that, well done, congratulations. Yeah, it was the Incas were the first to cultivate potatoes. There were wild potatoes growing around, but they were the first to really cultivate them. So well done. All right, question number 14. The average strawberry has how many seeds? The average strawberry has how many seeds? A, 50, B, 100, C, 150, or D, 200. How many seeds does the average strawberry have? Yeah, I know. Hickory Croft Farm, you're right. Ireland is famous for potatoes, but not where they come from. Interesting, huh? Average number of strawberries. So we've got A, 50, B, 100, C, 150, and D, 200. And if you look closely in the picture, you can probably count the number of strawberry seeds. You just have to be really fast. 5 more seconds. Excellent. All right, I saw lots of B's, C's, and D's. I didn't see any A's. Well, you're absolutely right. It wouldn't be A. There are lots of seeds. It's the only fruit that grows its seeds on the outside. We probably know that. The correct answer is D. It is 200 seeds on average from a single strawberry. I've looked into strawberries a little bit. There is a variety that's sold in Japan that can cost several $100s. So some of these strawberries, I don't know if I would ever eat something that costs that much money as a single fruit, but they can be impressively expensive. So well done if you knew that it was D, 200 seeds. Question number 15 is my favorite question on here. So let's take a look. The fear of vegetables is known as A, lachanophobia, B, botonophobia or botanophobia, C, buffonophobia, or D, anthophobia. Is it the fear of vegetables? You know what? I hope you're not on the live stream tonight with the fear of vegetables because this isn't going to go well. The fear of vegetables is known as A, lachanophobia, B, botonophobia, C, buffonophobia, or D, anthophobia. And yes, I will tell you what each of these phobias are when we get done. I would never leave you hanging and not have you know what each of these are because they're just so good. By the way, the word phobia means fear for all of you that were wondering. So some of these might be pretty close to making sense, I hope. Oh, by the way, I'm going to post that link to register one more time because there are 38 people in the live and only 25 people who have registered so far, and we're giving away another $5 right after this question. All right, here we go. The correct answer. I see lots of B's and C's. The correct answer for this one is A, lachanophobia. Lachanophobia is the fear, the irrational fear of vegetables. Okay, so the rest of them. Buffonophobia is the fear of toads. Botonophobia is the fear of plants. And anthonophobia is the fear of flowers. All right, if it's buffering for anybody else, please let me know. I don't want to continue with the live stream while it's giving an error, but please let me know if it's coming in fine for everybody else. Just let me know as well. That is question number 15, which means that we're headed into another giveaway. And this one is for $5 Amazon gift card once again. Now I'm looking at my responses and it looks as though we are up to 25 people. So let me hide that 1 second. I'll hide that for 1 second. And oh, yeah, we have 26 entries now. That's excellent. Let's bring those entries back up on the screen. And let's see who's going to win our $5 Amazon gift card. Here we go. The wheel is spinning. And Doris Arch, congratulations, Doris Arch. You've got a $5 Amazon gift card coming your way. This is pretty impressive. So far, no one has duplicated. All right, here we go. Oops, I don't want to share. I want to present question number 16. Question number 16. I love this question. And for those of you who have bees around or know the importance of bees, you know that we can't live without them. How much honey does a honeybee make in its lifetime? How much honey does a honeybee make in its lifetime? Is it A, 1 teaspoon, B, 1/12 of a teaspoon, C, 2 teaspoons, or D, 1/6 of a teaspoon? How much honey does the honeybee make in its lifetime? What do you think? A, B, C, or D? Somewhere in here it has to do with a teaspoon, but just how much of a teaspoon does the honeybee make? This one's really interesting because the hive size, the size of an average hive I've read is anywhere between 40 and 60,000 bees. So that might tell you something about this. We've got some A's, we've got some B's, we've got a C in here. Excellent, a D. I didn't research the length of life of a honeybee. I probably should do that, but I do know that they have to travel so many miles and it takes multiple millions of flowers to be pollinated just for a single pound of honey. And so the correct answer is, for those of you who are wondering, it is B, 1/12 of a teaspoon. So it takes 12 bees. It takes 12 bees to get us one single teaspoon of honey. That's astounding to me. That's astounding. I'm going to post the link in here to register again. We still have a couple more prizes to come. We have actually 3 more prizes. The next one is going to be here in a couple questions. It's one more $5 gift card. And then the last 2 are a little bit bigger, okay? So please keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. Which plant, it actually has 3 different names, but which plant, also known as Chinese parsley, is the parent plant of coriander seeds? So which plant do we get coriander seeds from? Is it A, angelica, B, curly leaf parsley, C, cilantro, or D, horehound? Which one of these plants is the parent plant of coriander seeds? Is it A, angelica, B, cilantro, or B, curly leaf parsley, C, cilantro, or D, horehound? Which one? Wow. Looking at the answers right now, I see that we have a fairly knowledgeable audience in here right now, especially when it comes to these spices. So coriander is not one that I use that often. It's not a seed that we use that often in our house. And this is actually a plant that is kind of hit or miss. I love the taste, and I know a lot of other people have a hereditary gene that makes it taste like soap. The answer is C, cilantro. Does anybody in here have that gene that makes cilantro taste like soap? It tastes amazing to me, but most of the rest of my family does not enjoy cilantro the way I do. So I'd love to know if you have that, have had that experience of it tasting like soap. All right, there we go. All right, question number 18. And we have 2 questions before the next giveaway, okay? So make sure you get yourself in. If you haven't hit like, please go ahead and hit like. If you haven't registered for the giveaway, here we go. There's the link again. I think I've posted that more times than you can count now. Here we go. Question number 18. I think there are some definite people who know this in the audience. Black walnut trees exude which toxic substance? Is it A, alkaloids, B, ricin, C, juglone, or D, solanine or solanine? Which one of those toxic substances is exuded by black walnut trees? A, alkaloids, B, ricin, C, juglone, or D, solanine or solanine? Which one of those is it? This is another one of those throwbacks to an earlier video where we did an exact video on this and what to watch out for, because some of the plants like the tomatoes, or should I say the love apples, asparagus, cabbage, eggplants, they don't do well around this toxic substance, which is C, juglone or juglone. It is the toxic substance that comes from the roots of the walnut trees, of hickory trees. There's quite a few in that family, the juglone family. And it comes from the fruit. So the leaves, as the leaves fall, as the black walnuts fall, you have the same problem. It leaches into the soil and it can stay for years. All right, last question before our next giveaway. Our next giveaway is the last $5 gift card. Which of these triggers the beginning of spring? A, the vernal equinox. B, the winter solstice. C, Labor Day. Or D, the cooling of the hemispheres? Which one of these triggers the beginning of spring? A, the vernal equinox. B, the winter solstice. C, Labor Day. Or D, the cooling of the hemispheres? March 20th. March 20th, 2 weeks from today. You have 10 seconds. March 20th, a day I'm looking forward to. Daylight savings time is coming. Make sure you have your clocks ready to bounce forward as we get that extra hour of daylight here in the US anyway. All right, here we go. The correct answer, you are correct. It is A, the vernal equinox. Very nice. The vernal equinox. I hope it's not the winter solstice, and I don't even want to think about the winter solstice at this point. All right, here we go. Giveaway number 5. This is another $5 gift card. I'm going to hide the screen. I'm going to get us set up on the Wheel of Names. We're up to 27 people now on the Wheel of Names. 27 people. The nice thing is that it auto-fills. So as soon as you register in here, I can see you. So as soon as you register, it pops over, you populate into the wheel. So please don't forget to register if you haven't done so already. And here we go for the last $5 gift card. And we do have, again, 2 more drawings. We've got Julie Kraft. You are up to $10 in gift cards, if I'm not mistaken. Well done and congratulations. Like I said, you can win multiple times. That makes it even more valuable, I think. All right, well done. We have 2 more bigger prizes now to give away as we head back to our trivia. Question number 20. Which of these is not a member of the Brassica family? Which one of these is not a member of the Brassica family? Is it A, squash, B, cabbage, C, broccoli, or D, kale? Which one of these is not a member of the Brassica family? A, squash, B, cabbage, C, broccoli, D, kale. All right. The answers are rolling in. I'm seeing lots of the letter A so far. Interesting. Lots of the letter A. I think brassicas have to be one of my favorite family of plants to grow. They have done very well for us so far. And there is one on here that's not a brassica. It's also one that we've struggled a little bit growing, but we did better this year than we have in years past. And the correct answer is A, squash. So squash is not a brassica. The others are that picture in the background that's really faded that you probably can't see very well. Well, those are Brussels sprouts. And I love Brussels sprouts, so that's why they're back there. Excellent. Well done. I think a lot of people knew that one for sure. Question number 21. If you know this, more power to you. What is a cloche? What is a cloche? Is it A, seeding tool, B, a gardening glove, type of gardening glove, C, a small translucent cover, or D, a type of rake? Is it a cloche? Is it a seeding tool, B, a gardening glove, C, a small translucent cover, or D, a type of rake? And I'm seeing the answers coming in right now, and a lot of people are saying it's a small translucent cover. That's letter C. Okay, I'm going to give you 5 more seconds. Excellent. Very nice. The correct answer is C, a small translucent cover. All right, I'm going to teach you something that I think is really important, and you probably already know it, but that's okay. The word trans means across. The stem trans means across. The stem luce, L-U-C, means light. Translucent literally means light across. So it's something that lets light across. If I had a picture of this, and there are some out there, it's basically a large covering that's clear. It used to be made out of glass. Now it's usually made out of plastic. We don't use cloches here. We just typically use those floating row covers. But very nice if you knew what a cloche was. It's an interesting looking word for sure. Okay, this is the last question before our next giveaway. I'm going to post a link to the giveaway registration one more time here. Which of these is true about zucchini flowers? Zucchini flowers. A, they are poisonous. B, they are edible. C, they come in many colors. Or D, each contain male and female reproductive structures. So each flower contains male and female reproductive structures. Which is true? A, they're poisonous. B, they're edible. C, they come in many colors. D, each contains male and female reproductive structures. What do you think about these zucchini flowers? While you're putting in your answers, I want to say thank you to the 42 people who are currently watching us. That is amazing. Thank you so much for being here so far this evening. We hope you're enjoying yourself. And thank you so much for hitting the thumbs up button. That helps us a bunch in the algorithm as we move forward here. Oh, look, I just posted the link one more time. I just read Anne with the Plan who said that the cloche can also be a hat. That is true as well. There are cloche hats. Very true. Okay, the correct answer here, they are not poisonous. B, they are edible. They're edible, and I have never eaten one. I know a lot of people like to deep fry them. They look absolutely amazing. I want to eat them. What I have done with them is pulled the leaves off and used the male flower to pollinate the female flower. We've done some hand pollinating here. Each plant contains, it's not D because each plant contains both male and female flowers, but it's not contained all in one. For those of you that like squash blossoms or zucchini flowers, I'd love to know a good recipe for them as well. Julie, I'm gonna put that comment right up there. I'm gonna put that comment right up there. You know what? It's been a year, but here we are having fun. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. All right, here we go. Our giveaway is a rapid test soil test kit. So our 6th giveaway is a little bit more value. This is the soil test kit that we use. There are 40 tests inside, 10 each for pH, N, P, and K. Okay, so we've used this a lot. It's done a good job for us. I think that this will be a very valuable prize for you. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this screen down. I'm going to get our wheel of names up. We're up to 29 29 names on the wheel of names. All right. Prize number 6. Here we go. Let's see what we've got here. Good luck to everybody. Kimberly Shipley, congratulations. If I'm not mistaken, you were the first person to register this evening, and now you've won one of our bigger prizes. So well done. Thank you so much for registering to do that. I'm going to go ahead and put the next question on the board. What is the name of the flowering portions of the cauliflower? What is the name for the flowering portions of the cauliflower? Is it the A, way, B, curds, C, clouds, or D, swells? The flowering portion of the cauliflower. A, way, B, curds, C, clouds, or D, swells. I absolutely love fresh cauliflower. We have some really exciting cauliflower coming your way soon in the spring. A lot of different colors, some purple, some orange. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, I'm looking at the answers right now, and I'm seeing there's a lot of uncertainty here. It's probably because when you think of cauliflower, you just think of the head of cauliflower, and you never really think about the name. I see lots of people guessing C, clouds. I see people guessing D, swells. And then early on, there were some people guessing B, curds, but nobody wanted to guess way because they probably know that there's no way. I don't know. The correct answer is B, curds. That white portion is called curds. True story. I looked that up and learned that yesterday. Very interesting. And Conrad Homestead just asked the question, has anyone here grown Romanesco? We are growing Romanesco Italia this year. If that's what you're referring to, it is absolutely crazy cool looking. Awesome. Okay, we have 2 questions left in our entire trivia night. And so let's move on to question number 24, which I'm going to forewarn you, if you watched our recent video, one of our recent videos, you will know this answer instantly. Telegraph, Sikkim, and Crystal Apple are all varieties of what? A, pears, B, mangoes, C, apples, or D, cucumbers. Telegraph, Sikkim, and Crystal Apple are all varieties of A, pears, B, mangoes, C, apples, or D, cucumbers. What do you think? I'm willing to guess. Well, I won't make any guesses here. There's only one variety of this that that we are currently growing. That'll be my hint. We are currently growing one of these varieties, and I see a lot of people know. I see a ton of people who know this, it appears right now. So I'm going to go ahead and provide the answer to you. I'm going to confirm the answer to you, and that is these are cucumbers. We are currently doing the single seed challenge, and we are growing these Sikkim cucumbers, which are these reddish brown cucumbers. They look really fantastic, super strange looking, and we're really excited to see how they grow and develop. Very delicious cucumbers. Can't get enough of them. Sometimes struggle to grow them, can't get enough of them. All right, we are down to our last question. And after this last question, we're going to have the biggest giveaway of the evening, the giveaway with the most value, I should say. So be ready for that. If you haven't registered for that giveaway, please hop in there. All you have to do is put your name down and put your email address so we can contact you afterwards. You'll get an email from contact@gutenyardening@gmail.com, and you will know, and we'll be able to get back and forth and get you your winnings. All right, here we go. Question number 25. In the 18th century, so 1700s and also into the 1800s a little bit, this fruit was so expensive that some people would rent it to bring to parties. Is it A, dragon fruit, B, durian, C, pineapple, or D, persimmon? Is it A, dragon fruit, B, durian, C, pineapple, or D, persimmon? Which one of these fruits was so expensive in the 18th century that people would rent it and bring it to parties? And they wouldn't bring it to parties to give to the host. They would bring it to parties to carry around so other people could see that they had this fruit with them. It was almost a sign of a status symbol. I read in one case that it was possible to pay upwards of the equivalent of 8,000 US dollars in today's money. Now, it wasn't $8,000 back then, but $8,000 in the equivalent of $8,000 in today's money for one of these. And the answer is C, pineapple. Pineapples just weren't available here in the States. And that's why a lot of people had to pay so much. And it was a status symbol. And oftentimes they wouldn't even eat them. And this is the part that shocked me the most. They wouldn't even eat them until they started to go bad, because they wanted them there for people to see and know that they had the money. I can imagine being somebody who is renting out pineapples to other people. Well, I'm glad they're not so expensive today. Although they take multiple years to grow, it's great that we have access to them. All right, before we move into our final giveaway, I want to remind you of a couple of things. First of all, our purpose in this trivia night tonight is to build community, to have you all talking amongst yourselves. And I know I haven't really been responding to too much here in the chat, but I do appreciate all of you who have been here this evening. Casper VK just gave us a super sticker. Thank you so much for the support. That is fantastic. We really, really appreciate the support. Our whole purpose, again, is to spread and pass on knowledge, to empower you as you work through your own gardening experience, to learn together. That's a big part of what we're doing. I want to remind you one more time of our community initiative. If you're growing something, if you've watched one of our videos and been inspired by it, or learned some new thing from us and then gone out and planted or harvested or grown something in a way that is reflective of something we've talked about on this channel, and you wanted to send us some footage of you harvesting, of your growing setup, we'd be happy to feature it on this channel. We really appreciate every single one of you who came out here tonight. At one point, I saw 43 people on this stream, which is just amazing. What a wonderful experience. I'm hoping you had a lot of fun. This is something we want to try to do a little bit more regularly, this idea of trivia. So if you enjoyed trivia, if you enjoyed this kind of question, you liked it, we'd love to know about it. We'd love to continue this process. If you have recommendations for ways we can make it even better, this was our first attempt at something like this. You know, we're moving back and forth a little bit between screens, but hopefully you've been enjoying that piece of it as well, and it worked well for you. I'm going to post the link one more time in the chat for the registration if you haven't already done so. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give us about 30 more seconds before I go back to the wheel and spin it for one final time. But I need to show you what our final prize is. So here we go. Our final prize is something that we did at our 250 subscriber giveaway a few months ago. We're giving away a seating square. So we were only able to give away one back then. And then they went out of stock. A lot of places they went out of stock. So many people are getting into gardening that they went out of stock. And here we have another opportunity to give these away. If you don't know what a seating square is, we featured it in some of our earlier videos when we were planting carrots, but we use this outside constantly. Ever since we got our very first seating square, we have been using it. This is a way to, it sort of pre-measures the space, the planting space between seeds. And so there's a sheet, and you can sort of see the sheet, I suppose, here on the screen that tells you approximate spacing for different vegetables. And then what this does is it removes the necessity of thinning out your crops. So carrots are one of those. I love carrots. They can be a pain to plant, and you always come back through and you feel bad because you're thinning everything out. But with a seeding square, you've got 16 per square foot. You're just laying them in there. You don't have to worry about thinning anything out. So these are really helpful. We use it to plant just about all of our seeds, including you can use it for corn. You can use it for just about any vegetable. Okay. All right. So here is the seeding square giveaway. I'm going to pop this off the screen real quick. Come down here. And I'm going to pop it back up on the screen. And we are up to 29 folks. 29 people registered. And I'm going to spin this wheel one final time. Good luck. The wheel is clearly heavy on this side. Congratulations, Steph and Chris. That is phenomenal. So we had 7 people, or 7 giveaways tonight. 2 people won twice, which is fantastic. Congratulations to everybody. If you haven't, again, hit the like button. Please go ahead and hit the like button. We would love if you would share out our channel with other people. Again, the more we can reach out to the community, the more we can work on our idea of empowering other people to grow their food. As you know, we've been trying our best to grow our own produce, our own food 365 days a year. And this is a part of what we can do as well to give back through this process. And Hickorycroft Farm, congratulations on the wins tonight. Well done. We appreciate the support of everyone who's been here. Stay tuned for the next live. We will have another live. This is our typical time when we go live, is on Saturday evenings at 8 p.m. That is Central Time. That's our typical time. It works well. We are going to be releasing another video here shortly in the next, I would say in the next half hour or so. You'll have another video out from us as well. If you want to see an update on our fig, which is a pretty exciting fig. And again, we're working on that new initiative to get as many people and as many members of our community as possible featured here on the channel. So please keep in mind our community initiative. And if you would like to reach out to us directly, I'm going to go ahead and type the email. Go ahead and type the email and put it in the chat. You can reach us at contactgutenyardening@gmail.com. Contactgutenyardening@gmail.com if you'd like to reach out to us for that community initiative. And if you have questions for us, we are always willing to answer them. You don't have to just leave a comment on YouTube. We love it if you leave a comment on YouTube on our channel. If you want to reach out to us via email as well, we will answer as quickly as we can. So thank you all so much for a wonderful evening together. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. We're going to do this again in the near future. So again, stay tuned for our next live. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. And remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow. Good night, everybody.